The Lunar Drive-In is located in Dandenong and remains one of the largest drive-in theatres in Australia since its inception in 1956. Recent news articles and word of mouth that have occurred during this COVID era period have ignited discussion on whether the drive-in format is the most safest and comfortable viewing experience during COVID. We are very lucky to be joined by Joint Managing Director of the Lunar Drive-In Theatre, David Kilderry, to provide his insights into how COVID has affected the cinema-going experience and his thoughts about the future of movies. Well, welcome to Offbeat, David. Thank you so much for your time. So, when did your involvement in the Lunar Drive-In begin, and why did you choose to pursue a interest in the theatre landscape?
Well, since I was quite young, from about the age of 12, I realised I wanted to work in the cinema industry. I was fascinated with film and projectors, and I was into Super 8 movies and bought those. I bought cartoons. I was able to save up and buy a projector. These are in the days before the VCR, of course. We went to the drive-in as a family. We went to the cinema as a family reasonably often, at least every school holidays. And I had the added advantage of, outside of my second story bedroom window, of being able to see a drive-in screen, believe it or not. Yeah. So I didn't have much choice. Yeah. I really wanted to make the film industry, and particularly cinema and drive-in exhibition, my career. So the Lunar Drive-In took many years to come together, actually. It was myself, my brother and another partner. And I'd initially tried way back in 1990 to get a drive-in open. We'd made offers on some drive-ins. We looked at opening closed drive-ins, but it took until 2002 until we were finally able to reopen a drive-in, which was the former Village Dandenong Drive-In. And I was working for Village at the time. And with a lot of work and a lot of negotiation, we were able to get it open in 2002.
That's awesome. Perfect. So what is that you love about the drive-in experience?
Look, the drive-in experience is different to the cinema experience, and many people correctly say that but perhaps there's some more distractions at the drive-in. Whilst you have stereo digital sound, you don't have 6 or 8 channel digital sound, but it's a different experience. The drive-in offers the comfort of your own car. You can come as you are. In these COVID times, it's perfect. You're socially distanced, you're outside, and of course, you're in your car as well. So you can control the volume. A very important factor these days is something we didn't realise 20, 30 years ago, is that people can use their phones when they're at the drive-in without interrupting anyone. And we walk through the cars and we see people scrolling on their phones halfway through the movie all the time. As many as 30% of people. So particularly younger people that just want to see what's going on with their socials or catching up on what's happening on their phone, they can do that during a movie at a drive-in, and they can't do that at a cinema.
It's so true though, isn't it? It actually is the funnest part about being inside the car and everything. Yeah, definitely.
Look, people love to hang out in their cars. You know, when I say people, I mean all ages, but particularly the 18s to 30s. They're kicked out from McDonald's car parks. They're kicked out of 7-Eleven car parks, but at the drive-in, for a relatively low price, they've got a few hours where they can hang with their mates in their car and be entertained and eat as well.
We know that COVID has had a nasty effect on everything, particularly the arts and culture here in the world in Australia. So what was your initial reaction to when cinemas had to shut down?
Well, we noticed back in March 2020, when COVID was really starting to spread across the world and the first few cases were hitting Australia, that cinema attendances were going down, but drive-in attendances were going up. And we noticed that over about a 3-week period, and the trend was undeniable. Now, drive-ins that have been able to operate around the world during COVID have generally experienced busy trading, but we've been closed for 46 weeks as of next week. So we've still been devastated, perhaps more than most other industries when I'm talking about cinema as a whole. So when we have been open in those few months, we've traded well, but having the closure and zero income has been tough. And look, this is the same with drive-ins in Canada and the United States as well. If they've been able to stay open and trade, they've had good trading, but many of them have been forced to close also.
So, do you think movies shutting down create a disconnect disconnect between the audiences and the big screen, or do you think it would drive people to go back to the movies when everything opens back up?
Yeah, look, it certainly created a disconnect. There's nothing like the movie-going habit. We see many of our customers come once a week, once a month. They love coming to the drive-in, and we haven't been able to offer that consistency. And to take up that time, of course, they've been spending their time watching movies through other platforms, whether it be streaming, free-to-air, DVD, however they choose to watch it. But we're very strong believers that there's already saturation in the home, whether it's pay TV, streaming, something you may have on DVD. All of these things are fighting for your time in the home. What we're fighting for is your out-of-home experience. So drive-ins and cinema as well, we're competing against going to a restaurant, going bowling, going to a nightclub, hanging with friends somewhere else. So that's where we compete. And yes, whilst movies are consumed both in-home and out-of-home, the same thing happened with the VCR coming in the early and mid-1980s. It had a devastating effect initially and did close many theatres. But by 1986, Australia's first multiplex cinema had opened at Chadstone, where I was working, and it went nuts. I hadn't seen business like it. So cinema has an inbuilt resilience, and drive-ins do too. We're a point of difference to cinema, but it's great. You can see a movie in an outdoor cinema, in gold class. You can see it in a multiplex. You can see it at a drive-in. We're just another section, another way to enjoy the movie experience.
So do you have regulars that come in, did you say once a week before? That's so cool.
Yeah, look, we have many regulars we see constantly. Some we know by name and speak to. Others we just see the familiar face.
Yeah.
And we have the same families that come every school holidays. We won't see them for 2-3 months. Then the school holidays come and they'll be there 3 times during 2 weeks. So, yes, we are local and we do rely on our local community from Dandenong, but unlike a multiplex, we draw from about 30 to 45 minutes away. So most of our customers actually drive past an indoor cinema to have the drive-in experience. So the 3 drive-ins that do exist in Melbourne are all luckily spaced about 45 minutes drive apart. So we all sort of divide up Melbourne very evenly and it works out well.
Has there been any sort of rivalry shared between the outdoor cinemas and the indoor mainstream cinemas over the years, or do you feel like the two types of viewing experiences are too distinct to compare?
Look, there's certainly an overlap, and bear in mind, outdoor cinemas were the very first way that Australians saw movies. If you look at here in Melbourne, there was over a dozen outdoor cinemas around 1912, 1913, 1914, spread around St Kilda, South Melbourne, and indeed other suburbs. So before they realised the permanence of cinema by adding roofs and building specific cinemas, outdoors was the way we first experienced movies. They've always been apart, and you'll notice across Melbourne there's cinemas, whether it be Palace Westgarth or Lido in Hawthorn or Classic Elsternwick, they have an outdoor cinema above their indoor cinemas.
Yeah.
Of course, there's the other ones that come just for the season, and there's many and varied, everything from Moonlight to all the others that pop up for short seasons. But unlike those, the drive-in is outdoor movies year round. So we have the consistency, and it's ironic that still 2 of Australia's 3 largest cinema companies still run drive-ins.
Did the return of the drive-ins boost the success of your outdoor theatre from what you noticed?
Yes, look, it's important being a leader. You get the most recognition and noticed most. Also, with this opening up, drive-ins will be able to open on or about the 26th of October, whereas cinemas are approximately 2 weeks in delay of that. So once again, the government have rightly recognised the safety that the drive-in provides compared to other businesses. And when you compare a drive-in theatre to a gym or eating indoor at a cafe or a restaurant, as I mentioned before, we're outdoors. Even if you're parked even if we're absolutely packed, you're still 2 or 3 metres away from the nearest car and you're in your car. So we have huge advantages. But having said that, we would not like to have been open during these COVID peaks because we realise stopping the spread is important, and it's important that we do our part, no matter how safe we feel we are. And with all due respect to a lot of the cafe owners out there, if I hear one more say that they've lost 40% of their business, well, we lost 100% of ours for over 40 weeks. So, and we consider we're one of the most inherently safest ways to see a movie with COVID. So we're looking forward to getting open again, following the guidelines to a T and doing our best to provide a safe experience for our customers.
Do you think you will be able to get eventually, once everything's that's the aim, to get back into?
We hope to get back to as normal as we can. There's been some upheaval in the cinema industry with the windows changing. We used to get a 90-day window between a film released at a cinema or drive-in before it went to streaming or other platforms. That's been shortened mostly by about half to 45 days now. So that's quite a big change. So we'll find some of our most popular movies will still be on screen when they're released to the other platforms, which rarely happened in the last 20 or 30 years. So there's a number of changes that we'll have to deal with, but we hope to return as much to regular operation as possible.
Yeah, 100%. That's tough, isn't it? Yeah, far out. So, will you prepare differently for any community events in the future, or do you believe no change is required for the arts and culture to thrive at the Lunar Drive-In?
Yeah, look, good points. We've always had special events in the past, whether it be prior to COVID with our 2 big annual car shows. Even as a regular special event, we have a trash and treasure market at our drive-in every Sunday, which thousands of people visit every week. But we also schedule Dusk Till Dawn horror movie marathon shows, which are great events. Initially, we'll just get open with whatever films are available to us to run, just to get back on track. But yes, we will add those special events back in, and they are important. Whether you're a drive-in or a cinema or any arts or other culture facility, having special events puts a spotlight on your business. There's no doubt about that. But they can also be lost leaders. We've run many events that, with all the organisation, costs involved in getting some classic films on screen, they lose money. So we're in the business to make money and also serve our audience at the same time. So it's a very fine line between how you balance that.
Well, did you have anything else you'd like to say or talk about?
Look, we've been very appreciative of our loyal customers. The people that do come to Lunar Drive-In, they flocked back in great numbers when we were open. And last Christmas was actually really busy. December and January was a great trading period for us. In fact, busier than the previous 2 years. So it shows that our customers and new people who are always discovering us have been very supportive. Our prices are low, both with our entry and our food, particularly compared to other cinemas. We're about half the price for a family of 5 and about half the price for that family of 5 to eat as well. And look, that helps. But the customers have been really supportive. And so, yeah, if I could say anything, it would be a great thanks to those customers who have been with us in the past and hopefully will join us again in the future.
Beautiful, definitely. So I'm sure everyone's looking forward to getting back on down and getting there. Yeah, I'm going to have to probably come and check it out as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah. No, definitely. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I'm just so excited just hearing about it. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much for your time, David. Today was so interesting. Actually, I learned so much about cinema and everything. So that sounds so awesome.